Hi guys, welcome back to BodyByJR TV. Today's video is going to be a dinners video. We are going to be giving you healthy ideas that are quick, healthy, fast and delicious, because healthy food does not have to be boring.
Okay, these are just a few of our favourites, guys, so we've got that coming up, but first please like this video if you do find it helpful, and leave us a comment if you need to ask us anything, and if you haven't already, please subscribe to our channel.
Yeah.
Okay, so based on the ingredients we've got here to begin with, we're going with a spag bowl.
Who doesn't love a spag bowl?
I mean, it's certainly one of our favourites.
Yeah,
we have to admit. I mean, maybe have the red meat a couple of times a week at most, really.
Yeah, and if you are vegan or vegetarian, there is vegan, vegetarian options for you to choose from. You don't have to use meat, okay? There is a lot of alternatives out there today. But
today we're going to go with the meat. So what we're going to do, we're going to make this nice and quick. That is the whole point of these videos. We want to make sure that we make it look as easy as possible for you to do it, because everyone's rushed and on the go. So what we're going to do is, we haven't got any gas, we've just got these electric heaters. So we're going to turn these on and we're going to get them nice and warm. Alright, we need the pasta.
Yeah, so we are using a whole wheat pasta. You have got the options of using a white pasta as well, but with the brown pasta it is generally a lower GI carbohydrate. So for a healthier alternative, this is what we're going to go with. So we're basing it on 2 persons, so we're going to go in with 100 grams dry, which is obviously 50 grams each, okay?
Okay, now we weigh the carbohydrates out in their dry form, because when you cook them you add water. Now this pasta, we might forget about it for too long and all of a sudden it's soaked up more water, so therefore it becomes heavier. And at that point, obviously, you're not going to be, you need to weigh it raw, because that's how much you're actually eating. Doesn't matter how much water's gone in there, it's the raw weight. However, however you weigh it, make sure you're consistent. So if you always do it when it's cooked, then you always do it when it's cooked, for obviously your fat loss goals. And
also when you weigh out 40-50 grams dry, it doesn't necessarily look a lot.
Oh yeah, it looks tiny.
Yeah, so obviously when you add the water to it and it cooks, it's a bigger portion, and plus we're going to show you ways to bulk out your meal today to make you fuller as well.
Okay, so the pasta's in the pot, the pan's heating up, the kettle's going to go on, because we're going to heat up the water. It just speeds up the process a little bit more, because obviously this is going to go on the heat. We're going to use 1 cous spray on the pan.
Again, this is where some people do go wrong with calories that are hidden. If you use an oil alternative, you're looking at around 120 to 150 calories just for a tablespoon. So a 1 cow alternative is perfect. Okay,
so kettle's on. I'm going to chop a pepper for today, because we fancy having a pepper, but what else can you have? Mushrooms,
you can have
celery.
Mushrooms, celery, onions, and the good thing about these vegetables that you can chop up and throw in is it doesn't really matter how much you're using, because the calories are going to be very, very low in these fibrous carbohydrates. And what's even more great about using all these vegetables is that if you're cooking for a family, you can bulk out these meals so they're fuller, they look bigger on the plate, and they're going to fill you up for longer and make it tasty.
Okay, so I'm just doing these in small chunks because that's what my wife likes.
I don't like chunky bits.
And
I also prefer a yellow pepper. I find green peppers quite spicy, I don't know why.
And sometimes you might want to do a homemade curry. For curries, I think you do need chunky vegetables. And for stews and things like that. But when you're doing a nice spag bowl, we're going to do these nice and fine. So all I'm doing is I'm just cutting them in strips. Yeah. You know, I've been making meals like this for years. Yeah. I taught my wife how to cook as well.
I still don't cook. But also, we've been in this industry for over 10 years, and it is a really common misconception that healthy can be portrayed as boring, like chicken and veg and broccoli, rice. But we are going to show you how to make these meals interesting, and this is how we stay consistent, because I think that's a really easy downfall is when people get bored of their meals. So hopefully this is going to give you some great ideas to stay consistent and to stay motivated. So we're using a 5% lean beef mince. There is obviously in the shops a higher beef mince, like 15%, etc. Them calories are going to be a lot higher. This meal that we're creating today is going to be a moderate amount of protein, carbohydrate and low fat, okay?
I'd say it's quite a high protein meal.
Yeah.
We've got quite a lot of mincemeat between us.
So this is a 500-gram pack we're splitting between the two of us. You can obviously go in a smaller portion or split that meal between a lot more of you. We are a bit lower on calories today, so we're going to give ourselves some extra red meat.
Okay, so we've got the meat, the pasta's on, we've got our veg. We can chuck this in at any point if you like it all sweated down even more. Some people like to add onion to their spag bowl. We just haven't got any, so we're just going to add pepper. Like Jordan said, celery, mushroom. The choice is yours, okay?
Bulk it out, definitely.
But we're just going to chuck this in. It doesn't matter what point you chuck it in. We'll get that in there.
Yeah.
We'll give that a little stir around. And we're going to add our seasonings, so our spices and seasonings, because we don't just want plain mincemeat.
No, this is where as well a lot of people go wrong because they don't use their imagination. You don't even have to be that creative, but by using herbs and spices, they go so far in dinners and lunches, and it really changes the flavour of the meals. Okay,
and we're not going to go and buy an expensive pre-made Bolognese sauce because it's loaded full of sugar, and we're going to just use tomato passata, okay? I mean, there's plenty of them out there. It's just sieved tomatoes.
You can use tinned tomatoes as well, like chopped tomatoes.
Okay, but what we're going to add to that, obviously we've got salt and pepper, but we're going to add turmeric, good anti-inflammatory as well, so if you're training lots, that's going to be great for your recovery.
And for guys?
Yeah, I mean, testosterone boosting effects as well. Then we're going to go in with some mild chilli because we can't have hot chilli because my wife doesn't like it.
Sorry.
But I still get my own way because I still get a little bit of chilli, but it says mild on it, but I just put loads more in. So it's those two.
Yeah.
Then we've got garlic granules. You got to have garlic in your spag bowl.
Got to have garlic.
Now, of course, you can have fresh garlic, but I don't know about you, but when I'm getting fresh garlic cloves, it seems to last for about 2 days in the fridge, and then you peel it and you just your fingertips stink it now. I just use the dried granules, much easier, still get the great flavour, and we're going to go in with Italian seasoning, which is a mix of dried herbs, red pepper flakes, and oregano, basil, you know. Yeah. So we'll get a nice little flavour from all this.
Yeah. By the way, going back a step, I don't just not like hot stuff, I'm allergic to hot chilli.
No, certain type, well, I know.
Ray once, he come home with a spag bowl sauce. He really fancied a hot spicy spag bowl.
It was a Levi Roots one, I didn't know.
Right, and we sat down at the table and he said, oh, I can't wait for this. I literally had half a tablespoon of it and I fainted. I'm allergic to, what's that chilli?
Did I catch you?
He did catch me. But so basically that we're having no hot stuff apart from when I'm pregnant. That kind of helps.
Okay, so we have one of these. Just that pasta gets a little bit sticky. Oh, if you was Italian, you'd need to put a little bit of olive oil in there.
Olive oil.
And you know, salt the water as well.
Yeah.
I don't quite know. We're not chefs, but we're just gonna put pasta in the water.
Yeah, and with this dried pasta, especially as well with a whole wheat or brown pasta, it does take a little bit longer. So you're looking at 10 to 12 minutes in the pan of boiling water. You can get a fresh pasta like tagliatelle, penne pasta. That is a little bit more higher in calories, but it is a lot quicker and takes a couple of minutes.
Okay, so we're going to start to add our seasoning. So Joel, do you want to add the salt and pepper for us?
See how he's trusting me with the salt and pepper?
Yeah. And I'm just going to eyeball these ingredients. I mean, you could add a teaspoon, but here we go then. Going with some garlic.
Woo! Look at that garlic.
Lovely, at least we both smell of it in the morning. So we've got some chilli.
So Ray's just covering the whole of the pan, so no bits of meat are left without the seasoning.
What we've done though is there's a really hard bit there because it may have been in the cupboard for a while. So I'm just going to take that bit out. And the other thing is you could also, if I was going to give you another option, you could be doing chili con carne. So you would still use the mild chili. You might want to use coriander, and then you also might want to use cumin, or some garam masala to make a chili con carne. And then obviously you could reduce some of your pasta and add in there some red kidney beans, because red kidney beans are predominantly carbohydrates. So you could take out 10 to 20 grams of pasta and add some kidney beans, like half a jar of kidney beans in there. So, you know, just be smart with it, guys. So what have I added? I haven't added the head potato. Okay guys, so we're at the stage now after only a few minutes really. We've just added the spices, the meat, we've been turning it, and it's starting to, you can really smell the spices now.
It smells chilli. And
it's gone, yes, the meat's browned. So we're going to turn the heat down a little bit, and then we're going to go in with our passata. Yeah. Just watch as you open up these lids, because sometimes the tomato juice can,
on a white top,
can spurt in your face.
Yeah. So like we said at the beginning, you can use passata, you can use tinned chopped tomatoes. These are a lot lower calories than a bolognese sauce or a ready-made sauce that you'll find in a supermarket, and they're cheap as well. Okay.
So I'm going to stir this all in. I'm going to turn the heat down. Just going to let it simmer whilst the pasta finishes cooking.
Yeah. So with this portion that we did today, we had a 500 grams mincemeat divided by 2. So I've done the portion size per person. So for the calculations of 250 grams of mincemeat, 50 grams of dry pasta, a bit of passata and some mixed vegetables, you're looking at around 500 calories for that portion. Give or take, you can obviously decrease that portion, goal dependent. 500 calories, 45 grams of carbohydrates, really low fat at 9 grams, and around 60 grams of protein. So it's a really high protein meal.
And it can carbs.
Yeah, 45.
Oh, it did say carbs.
Yeah, so it's a really nice portion, and it can achieve any, or sorry, it can go towards any goal that you've got, but goal dependent, you can change that portion.
Okay, and like Jordan said, we haven't eaten as much today, so we're going to have slightly more of the meat, but you may want to just cook that extra bit and then leave it for another time. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to let that simmer away, and we're going to wait for the pasta to finish, and then we're going to get served up.
Yeah.
Okay guys, so we are ready to serve up. Literally, how long did that take, George?
Well, as long as the pasta took, so 10 to 12 minutes.
It really doesn't take that long. We've let the tomatoes, just what's it called? The passata, just like reduce down a little bit.
Yeah.
I did, but I didn't let you know, I put our plates in the oven just to start heating up. You know, you need a nice hot plate, because you know, you could get distracted and the food needs to stay warm.
Only a couple of minutes before the end, okay guys? So again, please remember that you can bulk this meal out.
Some people with posh kitchens will have a plate warmer.
Oh.
Cheeky.
We don't have a plate warmer.
No, just the oven warms it up for us.
So yeah, you can bulk this meal out with lots of vegetables.
Okay, so we know that we've got 100 grams of dry weight pasta here, alright? It doesn't matter how large it is now, that's how much we've got. So for us, we're going to have half each.
Or Ray normally gives himself a little bit more.
I'll probably have a little bit more. But we know that we've got 50 grams each here.
Yeah.
I probably should be having a bit more than you, shouldn't I?
Yeah, I reckon so.
Well, I'll have the rest then, because I'm double hungry.
Double hangry.
Hungry.
Hangry.
Right. That's that.
Okay, now for the main part.
Now for the meaty bit. Sorry, people that don't like meat.
No, but if you don't like meat, there is alternatives, isn't there? There's a lot of alternatives nowadays.
Alright, looks lovely.
So we're just going to put that on top. Now, what normally goes with a spag bowl, right?
Okay, so today we haven't actually got any cheese. But of course you could add that. Obviously you'll be adding calories and you'll be adding fat to your meal, but then all you'll need to do to adjust for that is, say if you had throughout the day a portion of nuts as a snack, you just don't have them if you know that you're going to have a spag bowl that you want some cheese on top.
Yeah, so just reduce your fat intake throughout the day, only a small portion, and around 20 grams of grated cheese is about 80-85 calories. So you just want to make sure, if you are keeping this within a healthy food plan or the calorie intake that you're putting yourself on, that still can be worked into your calorie intake.
Okay, so that is your first meal.
Yummy.
And we have plenty more to come, so stay tuned, guys.
So we're back with number 2. We have got the slow cooker, and we have got chicken, potatoes and vegetables. So we're making a curry really, aren't we?
I mean, yeah, we're just going to add some stock, chicken stock. You can add vegetable stock, and then we can put some curry powder in there. The option's really yours. I mean, you said curry, it depends if you want curry, we can add curry. This is how versatile these slow cookers are.
Yeah, they're great.
Now, we've already put the chicken in here. Just make sure with the poultry and the raw meat, you are hygienic, you know, you don't want no cross-contamination. We did that separately in another area of the kitchen. So that's in there. It's actually not fully defrosted either, but we're going to cook it on a slow cooking setting. So that's in there at the bottom there. And as we said, we're gonna add potatoes to ours.
Yeah.
So what are our other options,
Julian? So we're going to be cooking this on a base of cooking for 2 persons. So we've got 2 chicken breasts in there. You have got other options of different meat, but with a slow cooker, you put the raw meat in, and we're looking at around 6 hours cooking time. This is perfect for families that want to cook for all of you at an evening, for mums that are on the go, if you're working long hours. If you get this done before you leave or in the morning before a day of activities planned, when you come home, this is going to be ready. So this is great for everyone. So Ray's peeling potatoes. Like I said, we're basing this on 2 persons. So we've got 2 chicken breasts and we've got 2 fist-sized jacket potatoes. You can, if you didn't want to add potato, you can slow cook the meat and the vegetables, and about 45 minutes towards the end, you can add rice to make a risotto, a slow cooked risotto, which is absolutely lovely. But today we're going for a curry / stew type with the potatoes.
We probably won't have the rice though, because we've got the carbohydrates from the potato. Oh, Mimi.
Yeah.
We've got the potato here.
So Ray's just peeling the potatoes, and he's cutting the potatoes up into cubes, probably about into 3 sections, divided into another 3.
And the great thing about the slow cooking method is you just chuck all your ingredients in, and you just can forget about it, you know. Yeah,
and we're going to just be using broccoli today because that's what we want, is just broccoli in it today. But you can go crazy with vegetables. You can add peppers, you can add onions, leeks will be lovely in it as well. And like Ray said, you don't have to position it nicely. You literally can just cut it up and chuck it in chunks or finely cut, and literally leave it for 5 to 6 hours on a low setting. Obviously you can make it a little bit faster by bringing that setting up to a higher temperature, but a nice slow cooked curry is what we're going for.
But obviously curries, normally you have rice, don't you, traditionally. So we're just going to call it curried flavour stew. Yeah. You know, if we was being pedantic. So this is how quick it is, guys. Don't tell us you haven't got time. That's a potato done. Broccoli head.
Literally just cut it and put it all in. There.
When it's a bit softer later, then obviously do this safely. I've done this for a long time now.
Yeah. So that's it. We've got the vegetables in there, like we said, add more vegetables if you want. We've got the carbohydrate, which is the potato, and we've got the protein, which is the chicken. You have got other slow cooked meat options as well. Ray's now just adding in chicken stock. It's really low calories per tablespoon. What do you say, about 14 calories?
Yeah, it's nothing. That's probably 30 or 40 calories we've just added there. You have got the OXO chicken stock cubes. You can go with vegetable stock, beef stock, whatever you decide is absolutely fine. We've just got this from a wholesaler, so it's just a bigger tub. I mean, that will last for ages for us. So
we've gone in with 2 tablespoons of chicken stock. If you are using a cube, we normally say about 2 cubes, don't we? A cube per person.
Yeah. So everything that we want is in there, but like Jordan said, peppers, carrots would be lovely, leeks or onions. You could put some garlic in there, but we're going to flavour it really with the chicken stock, and that's what we want today. But obviously the choice is yours. Chuck it all in there. We're going to add some water. I can't give you an amount of meals. It really depends on your own preference. If you do prefer like a thicker kind of casserole type dish, you could add some corn flour to it towards the end of the cooking period, because then it's going to obviously be nice and thick if you prefer it that way.
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll show you it
After.
In 6 hours time?
Yeah.
Okay guys, so we are now, what, 5 hours later?
Yeah, anywhere from 4 to 6 hours is a really good time for your slow cooker stew slash curry slash risotto, whatever you're making, okay?
Okay, so Jordan did mention earlier that we were going to be doing a curry, but we decided not against that in the last 5 hours because we just fancy just what we've done.
Yeah.
So we've got nothing else in there other than what we told you initially.
Yeah.
Get your gloves on, obviously it's going to be really hot, it's been on for the last 5 hours. I'm going to take this off. We have just left it cooling down for a while.
For about 10-15 minutes, Ray unplugs it and let it cool down. If you did want to make a curried flavour, you would add obviously the curry powder into it, and again a tablespoon per person depending on how spicy you would like it.
Oh, the chicken is just so tender. It's literally, all I'm doing is just pressing this big serving spoon into it and it's just breaking up. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to stir it all around and I'll show you the finished article.
Article?
Finished product. It should be down in the bottom of your screen.
Yeah. So as you can see, the chicken is really tender. It's like shredded chicken.
It's like pulled pork.
Yeah, pulled chicken.
Okay, so we're going to serve this up now. As I say, if it's a bit too watery for you, you can add some corn flour to thicken it up a little bit, but we're just going to serve out a couple of portions. Oh,
yeah, lovely. That. So at the start we based it on 2 persons. We had the 2 potatoes, the 2 chicken breasts. So when you are serving up your dinner, whether it's for you and your partner or the family, you know your portions are already in that. So this finished product you do not need to weigh out again. Ray always takes a little bit more, and then
well, you know, a little bit heavier, you know, I need to eat a bit more, a bit bigger. Oh, look at that.
Yeah, lovely. So we've got our nice complex carbohydrates with the potato, protein from the chicken. It's a really low fat meal. If you want to add more calories in, you can add healthy fats into it as well, and you can bulk it out with more vegetables. We've just got the broccoli, but like we said earlier, you can do peppers, leeks, onions, and really bulk it out. Oh wow, look at that.
I think you've got more than me now. Okay.
Lovely jubbly.
Lovely jubbly, no mess. We chucked that all in there and we haven't touched it until now. So that is the finished article. Bit of pepper, Percy pepper.
There you go. And there's no need to add sauces to it because it's already got enough flavour from the stock that's in there, the pepper we've just added, and the juice it's actually cooked in as well.
Lovely jubbly. So stay tuned, we've got a few more tips coming your way shortly. Okay guys, so next up, I think this is number 3.
Yeah, this is number 3.
This is number 3. So what we got, Joel?
So we have got just traditional chicken, rice and broccoli, and in the fitness industry, well, to be honest, whether you're into fitness or not, it's quite common that someone portrays, oh, all you see is just chicken, rice and broccoli, and it can get very boring, but we're going to show you that it's not boring, and this is how we stay on track, and this is how you make a healthy meal delicious. So Ray's got the chicken breast. Again, we're cooking for 2 persons, so we've got 2 chicken breasts, we've got a whole broccoli stalk. You can use less or you can add more vegetables. We're going to use rice. We're going to use microwave rice and split the packet, which is 250 grams, into 2. 2 minutes in the microwave, quick and easy. Again, if you don't like chicken and you want to use another meat, another poultry or a white fish, a low fat protein meat or fish or vegetarian alternatives.
Turkey's good. People use turkey mince, chicken mince.
Yeah.
You can make into burgers, meatballs. I mean, it's the same thing.
Yeah.
Alright, so we're going to go in with barbecue seasoning. We just buy this in bulk. I mean, there's little to nothing in the small amount that we're going to use. So I'm going to go from. Jordan can be putting the broccoli on. And
again, with this seasoning, we really like barbecue seasoning, but there's hundreds out there, like fajita, Chinese, Thai. Oh, there's so many, and that's what does make your meat or your protein choice very interesting. So I'm just cutting off the broccoli heads and putting them onto a tray. And what we're going to do today, obviously you can steam this if you like it a bit softer. This
is going to be the best chicken rice
you'll ever get.
You'll ever taste. So I'm just going to get the oven warming up. So we'll just go, I mean, everyone's got their own preferences, but we like to cook the chicken fast. Cook it fast and cook it high, but don't cook it too long. Alright, so you're looking at about 25 minutes at 200 degrees. I don't know what gas mark that is, but...
No, but chicken does still cook afterwards as well. And a lot of people cook the chicken for too long and it dries out. So around 20 to 25 minutes is a great time. And then when you get the chicken out, we're going to leave it to cool. So we've cut the broccoli up and we've put it on the baking tray with the chicken, obviously separate. But that broccoli is going to go in there for the same amount of time as the chicken.
And also, we like roasted peppers. They go all soft and moist, and they just add a nice texture to your plate of food. So we're going to core this out, just cut around the top, very simply. That pops straight out. Get rid of the seeds, and yeah, you've got pepper that you're going to roast.
And again, that goes straight on the tray, and that is going in the oven for the same amount of time as the chicken.
Everyone's so rushed these days. You know, there's no excuse not to be able to eat well. It's very simple, and hopefully it's a little bit of inspiration for you.
Yeah.
Okay, we're not just going to be showing you the rice today, because obviously you just stick that in the microwave. Sometimes that can get a little bit boring, so we're going to show you as well, so make sure you stay tuned, the easiest and quickest way to do sweet potato mash.
Yummy.
In the nicest way. Oh, there's one more seed in there, Jordan won't like that. And also couscous.
Really easy.
Okay, so a couple of different carbohydrate options there for you. So you've just witnessed us do that. We've got our barbecue chicken, we've got our peppers which we're going to roast, all for 25 minutes obviously, and the broccoli. But best tip for the broccoli, soy sauce. I mean, this whole container contains 90 calories, so we're only going to add a splash.
Yeah.
You're literally adding nothing.
This is a really low, light calorie sauce that you don't really have to track. It makes the meals really tasty and it makes them more interesting. Where people go wrong is adding dressings that are creamy and high in oil.
Any oils and stuff. Sometimes you get the chicken bags that you cook in the bag, but lots of those are loaded with oils and other carbohydrates, just to make the chicken a lot more tasty. But trust me, this is tasty. There's no oil gone on that. There's very little calories in this. And as I say, we're going to add rice to this meal, which, stay tuned, we're going to show you that afterwards when it's ready. But also sweet potato mash and, what did I say, couscous.
Yeah, and just quickly, some people do ask about chicken thighs. Chicken thighs is a higher fat, so we've gone for a chicken breast, which is low in fat and it's high in protein. If you did want to use a thigh alternative, then just maybe swap some of your fat options around in the daytime to give you them extra calories for this meal.
Okay, so this is going in the oven. Stay tuned, because we'll check it out when it's back out. Okay? Okay guys, so it's been 25 minutes, well almost.
Almost.
And the chicken, broccoli and pepper is about to finish. So we've got some packet microwavable rice, we've had a little squish around with it.
So we're just using brown basmati rice. There is loads of flavours out there, like vegetable rice. Ray likes a Mexican style rice sometimes. Calories will differ depending on what flavourings you are using. For a brown basmati, for best results, this is what we're going to go for. But there's no harm in using other flavouring ones as well. And
guys, if you do cook the rice from its raw state, obviously it's a bit cheaper to do that, but you have got to wait for the rice to cook. However, exactly like we did with the pasta earlier on in this video, you put the scales to 0, put the saucepan on the scales, and then you add, for us, 100 grams, 50 grams each. It's normally 1 part rice, 2 part water, but you might need to have a play around with that. Some people just can't cook rice. But yeah, practice with that one. We're just going with a microwavable rice. That's the oven now, so we're going to get the chicken out. Oh!
So like I said at the beginning of this meal, the chicken does continue to cook after is now come out of the oven. So we just leave it to cool and to just carry on cooking for a couple of minutes whilst the rice is cooking.
Okay.
Look at that.
Lovely.
I wish you could smell right now.
Jubbly. So we'll serve it up. The chicken, yeah, it does carry on cooking, but
we can leave it on the plate.
We let the juices. I mean, some people might want to put it on a chopping board, but we're not chefs. And we're hungry, so. And
we want it to look pretty for a picture.
What we'll do is once we've served it up, we'll bring the camera around. It's got a nice grilled pepper on there too. Get a bit of water inside there, and then we've got our broccoli, which has been baked nicely. You can smell, doesn't it smell nice?
It's lovely. So this is almost giving it a bit of a teriyaki flavour. You can use teriyaki sauce actually, but also with the broccoli, like we said before, you can steam it and boil it.
And it's important to add, don't forget these vegetables, guys, because vegetables add fibre to your diet, and obviously that increases satiety, so it prevents you from becoming too hungry.
And then magical as well for fat loss.
And it's going to help with your digestion as well. It's going to help with your tract in there. You know what I mean. Okay, and then rice. Yeah. I mean, really, what work have we? Just watch your fingers when you do that. And then roughly, I normally have a little bit more than Jordan, because I don't know, I'm just a bit greedy.
Can you make mine nice and put it in there?
Jordan wants it inside a pepper. Okay, is that alright?
That's lovely. Thank you. And these meals as well, with rice, just be careful, because you can make this the night before if you're prepping and then take it into work the next day. But make sure when you're reheating rice, you only reheat it once and it's piping hot before you, or once you've got it out of the microwave, should I say. Okay
guys, and this, I mean, you could eat that cold. Obviously we're going to eat this hot, but a great meal there, under 400 calories, without a doubt. We can work, leave us a comment below if you want us to work out for you. Obviously if you do want personalised diet plans, please obviously drop us an email. All the information is in the comment section below. But I'm going to bring the camera around and I'll just show you these videos.
And girls, don't leave out them carbohydrates. They are vital, they are not enemies, and this is a perfect lunch no matter what goal you've got. Or dinner. Yep. This is going to get you great results.
Okay. Thanks guys, stay tuned. We're going to show you the exact same meal, but we're going to show you a sweet potato option or a couscous, and the best way to cook those for tasty and fast results. Okay guys, so welcome back. As promised, we're going to show you a couple of other carbohydrate sources that you can have with your dinner. So in the last video, I think the Q&A, we made famous,
semi-famous, sweet potato.
My sweet potato. Okay, so now we're going to show you.
Yeah.
This sweet potatoes just come straight from the supermarket. Well, this one we got it from like a wholesaler. These, we've done nothing to them. Pulled a few little sprigs off, but we're not going to worry about it. They're just literally just going to go in the oven.
Yeah, just like that. But we are making enough for our lunch and our dinner, hence why there's 4 sweet potatoes on there, okay?
You can cook this in bulk and you can store it in the fridge, and then you just reheat it for 2 minutes in the microwave, okay? It's that simple.
So they're all sorted, they can go in the oven, and they are going in the oven for an hour and a half, okay?
Okay, and a good tip as well is to line your dish with tin foil, because then once I've used this, I can just get that tin foil out, put it in the bin, and then I don't have to even worry about washing up this tray. I might want to disinfect it in dishwasher once a month, but you know.
You can tell who does the washing up.
No, I'm saying like we can reuse it because you're not going to dirty it. Right, so the oven's been reheating.
Yeah, so Ray's going to put them in there. They're going to go in there for an hour and a half, but at the hour mark we're going to add our chicken in, so that means that our carbohydrates and proteins are ready at the same time. We will show you the magic trick of how to make that sweet potato delicious once it's cooked.
And that is on 200 degrees, or just under 200 degrees, in a fan oven.
Yep.
So that's that.
So another carbohydrate that we're going to show you, it is really quick and easy, is couscous. We've just got a standard soft and fluffy couscous from a supermarket brand, okay? No fancy flavouring, just completely plain. Again, we're going to weigh this out dry weight, so you know the weight of it.
Should we just add that if you go to the supermarkets, you can find couscous and grains and things like that, and they come in these nice packages and stuff. They're very expensive and they're loaded full of, you know, like oils and things like that. I mean, I'm sure they taste nice, but you can do it yourself.
Yeah.
You can save money, buy it in bulk like this, in a dry weight. Jewel, how many ounces?
So we're going to go for 50 grams dry, okay? So like we said before in the video about weighing it out, weigh it out as a dry weight.
I'm going to get the kettle.
I've boiled it, don't worry. So make sure you've got a kettle boiled at the ready. We're going to put in 50 grams dry weight. Okay, a little bit over.
And it's entirely up to you which spices and seasonings you add. We're going to go with some mint because it gives it a nice fresh taste. Just chuck that on top there, and that's that mint in there. We've also got smoked paprika, just we like that smoky taste, so that's going to go on top. Again, be as sporadic or adventurous as you want. And then the last one, we've got our garlic granules, just a touch on there, don't want too much on there. We've got our salt and pepper, which we're going to add.
And so this is one portion. If you're cooking for two, obviously double the weight.
What we're going to, because when you cook that, when we add this water to cook it and leave it, it may get a little bit dry, but we're going to add in some like fresh lemon juice or something like that at the very last point, just to loosen it all up and just give it that nice fresh taste. Yeah. Okay, and then the way you cook it,
so you just put the hot water on, make sure the couscous is covered. You're going about 1 to 2 centimeters over the couscous, and then you straight away just put a plate on top. Okay, this plate literally goes on top for a couple of minutes. You will see it starts to absorb the water and dry up, and that is it. The couscous is done. You don't need to cook it in any other way.
Leave that for 5 minutes.
Yeah, and another spice I was going to say is we used to make it at BodyByJR kitchen is curried couscous. So just like the couscous that we just did, you can add curry powder on top, mild or spicy, however spicy you like your curried couscous, and that goes really nicely with chicken and vegetables, and even if you want to add a bit of creme fraiche in there as well. So that is a really great carbohydrate to actually go around a lot of different dinner options.
Also some people like, say for instance you had some lamb and you made them into little koftas, and you made like a fresh tzatziki, you know, with your Greek yogurt, lemon juice, garlic, and what's the other ingredient? The herb?
Dill.
Dill. So if you wanted to make yourself a little fresh homemade tzatziki with your lamb koftas, then you've got your couscous, but then Moroccan, they put raisins in there. Yeah, so put some raisins in there.
Yeah, you can do a lot with it. Quinoa cooks in the same sort of way as well, doesn't it?
Quinoa probably best to cook it on the stove.
Yeah.
Let that absorb that water and cook a little bit. It cooks a bit longer. Quinoa.
But couscous is super quick.
Bulgur wheat is exactly the same. If you wanted bulgur wheat, exactly the same. You also have giant couscous, so the options are unlimited. Yeah. So stay tuned. We're going to come back when the sweet potato is cooked. Okay, guys. So it's been an hour and a half, hasn't it? We've been patiently waiting. The sweet potatoes, we haven't touched them whatsoever. They're now cooled down.
Yeah, so make sure they are cooled down before you do this part, because otherwise you will burn your hands.
They get really hot, guys. So we're just going to literally just take off the skin. Some people might like to eat it, but because we're going to do mash, we're literally just going to pull the skin off.
Yeah,
oh, it's still quite hot actually.
Yeah, they're going to be hot for a long time. But again, just to remind you, we've done 4 sweet potatoes because this is going to be for our lunch and our dinner. But what we're doing now, you can make for 2 days worth, say, and have your portion for the meal that you need now, and put this back in the fridge with cling film over the top. Just make sure, you can eat it cold, but when you do reheat it, just make sure it's piping hot in the microwave.
Yeah, full power, 2 minutes is fine.
Yeah.
Oh, it's really hot.
So what Ray's doing is just peeling off the skin of all the sweet potatoes, putting it into a bowl. This is where the magic happens. Okay, so
in terms of like portion size, obviously where we've said about weighing carbohydrates out in their raw state, with this we're just gonna weigh it out when it's cooked, because you can't really, because when it's going to take on a different weight once it's cooked, and we're going to add a little bit of milk to it as well. Yeah. So we're just going to go with that with this one. But remember, whatever measurement tool you use, so say you have sweet potato 3 nights of the week, I mean, if you have a ladle at home, then maybe it's just 2 ladle spoons.
Yeah, just keep it
or 1
consistent.
ladle spoon. Keep it consistent, so make sure. So we're just going to go in with this, like this serving spoon, and we're going to mash it up. If you've got kids, maybe you want to get them involved doing this. It's quite fun to mash it all up.
You can use a masher.
Yeah, you can have one of those.
But because it's been cooked to a really nice sort of smooth texture, it will just literally blend with the spoon.
Yeah, it doesn't take much mashing about. So what are the options? I mean, today we're going to go in with unsweetened almond milk and some thyme. Just gives it a nice taste. We like it. Obviously salt and pepper as well.
Yeah.
But what else could they use?
You can go in with cinnamon. Cinnamon and sweet potato is really nice, and coconut milk. Try out for a light coconut milk to have less calories.
They do an unsweetened Alpro.
Yeah, unsweetened Alpro coconut milk. But by having coconut milk and cinnamon, you're going for like an exotic, summery sweet potato taste. So you can literally put whatever seasonings in here to your liking. But thyme, cinnamon, they are really one of our tops.
I think if you've ever been to like the Caribbean or anywhere, I think they use nutmeg quite a lot. And nutmeg, I mean, it's got quite a distinctive flavour. And smell to it. But if you do like it, I mean, I know when we went to Jamaica and they put nutmeg in the porridge oats. Oh my God, it was so nice.
Okay.
So the choice is yours.
Yeah. So today we're going to go with almond milk, unsweetened almond milk, and thyme. You can use a skimmed milk or a semi-skimmed milk. With the almond milk, it is less calories, so you can literally have quite a lot of milk in there to make it really creamy and not a lot of calories.
Yeah, we would always favour the non-dairy milk because it's got no sugar in it, it's got low calories in it, especially over butter. A lot of people notoriously, like obviously the chefs, probably anyone out there, a bit chefy watching this, why aren't you using butter? Well, obviously we're going to save some calories. Now, you know, if you want to add butter, obviously you're going to have to account for that in your daily macros because predominantly it's a fat, so we need to reduce fat from your rest of your meals that day. So thyme, we're going to go in. Oh, she's got a lovely aroma, isn't it?
So Ray's covered the whole of the top of the service of the bowl with the thyme seasoning. Again, you've got different options. And with the milk as well, we made sure that was covered, and he's just blending that and mixing that together to make sure it's all mixed into every bit of the potato. Okay,
and we know that I normally have 2 ladle spoon or serving spoonfuls, and Jordan normally just has 1, and that's what we do. We're going to go in there with some salt and pepper, and then it's done. It is that simple. Sweet potato, dry, in the oven, 1.5 hours later at 200 degrees, or just under 200 degrees, and that is what you're left with. Leave them to cool down, mash them up, just be explorative with it, and go with something that you like, alright? But remember, if you're adding butter, or cow's milk, or whatever, or oil, you're adding calories to it, okay? We've added very, very minimal calories to our sweet potato, and we're going to enjoy eating this with our chicken.
And with that, it's a really good complex carbohydrate. You're going to get great results. Again, for fat loss, you do not need to cut out your carbohydrates. These are essential. You need these macronutrients, and they will go really nicely with any meat dish.
I mean, you might
want lunch or dinner.
You could have some chicken, turkey sausages, or even some vegetarian sausages, sweet potato mash, just boil some frozen peas, and then you could have like gravy with it. You could even chop up some shallots or red onions and make an almost onion gravy. I mean, the choices for dinner are endless, okay? Don't be fearful of actually getting involved in cooking. It doesn't actually take much effort, really. You just got to practice it, okay?
Yeah, and like we said before, you can do 2 days worth of this. You don't even have to think about doing it again. Just put it straight in the fridge, cling film over, and then when you're ready, reheat it or eat it cold.
Okay guys, and I'll add to the video the couscous and how that ended up. It's just down here now. Have a look at that. And we showed you that before.
Enjoy!
Thank you so much for watching, and stay tuned for, and make sure you subscribe for all of our future videos. Click the bell icon and then you'll be notified when we upload our next video, okay?
Thank you so much, guys.
See you soon.